Hello, and welcome once again to In the Library with
Tara!
And I am, as ever, Adrian. And today we have with us our very special guest,
Jessica! Sounds like a bird. Aw, I like it.
Hello again, Jessica.
Hi.
You've been a guest on this podcast before, have you not?
Yes. Welcome back. You remembered.
What brings you back to our podcast?
I am here to talk about the summer music series.
The Summer Music Series.
Mm.
What is the Summer Music Series?
Well, we're back. A second year summer music series is back, and we are excited. What is it? It is a lineup of live music performers to be performing out on the lawn. Why are you laughing?
Because it's Adrian.
This is making me nervous.
I didn't
It's
laugh.
like throwing off my whole thing.
I will say that through the boom mic stand, it looks like you're wearing a really bad domino mask. Like you're trying to be a superhero, but continue.
He was also laughing at like his cool radio voice.
Okay, so we're going to have performers on the lawn at the gazebo right next door to the library, and we have 5 performances this summer.
Yeah.
Each performance will feature a different food truck as well, and one of our events is even going to have a homemade lemonade stand.
Ooh. Like county fair?
Yes. Yes, it's called Shake It Up Lemonade.
Yes. Why are those the best?
Is the stand homemade or is the lemonade homemade?
I believe all of it.
I mean, somebody had to make the stand.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the lemonade is freshly squeezed, and last I heard, there are even add-ins like sour flavors. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come just for the lemonade.
Can I tell you about our first performer on June 18th?
Please.
At 5:30. It is a 3-piece band called Roseweed. Roseweed plays country, rock, folk, and bluegrass music. And they feature a guitar, a harmonica, fiddle, and a bass.
Ooh.
Are you sure it's not a bass?
I'm pretty sure.
Ooh. That'd be very different, but they did used to have the fish on the walls that sang, so maybe they could incorporate it. A bass playing bass.
Good old Billy Bass.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Do you remember
for
those
next
things?
Year. Yeah.
My uncle used to have one in his office.
I feel like every house I had gone into in that time period had one somewhere.
Speaking of next year, if any of our musically talented guests out there are listening and saying, hey, I would like to participate next year, how could they be considered for next year's lineup?
Well, they could call the library and ask to speak with me or send me an email.
So could Adrian and I have like a duet?
That could be a consideration. Why not?
Are you sure you know us?
That was the friendly answer.
So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's DOA.
And we're copy struck.
Wow, you guys are getting really good at this.
Welcome to the chaos of our brains.
So, did we nail the audition?
You guys are up for consideration.
I mean, were you entertained? That's the question.
Yes, highly entertained.
How do you normally go about finding the guests? Like, do they normally reach out to you, or do you go searching for them? I'm assuming last year, because it was brand new, you searched for them.
Yes, so with last year being the very first time I had done this, I actually looked at flyers and social media from other community restaurants and bars and found a list, and then I went from there and I started contacting people one by one. Now that this is the second year, people are starting to contact me.
But it's too late for them to do it this year. You have that all booked, right?
Oh yes,
So
this all gets booked. I start working on this in January.
Okay. But there's still time for next year.
Yes.
You guys can follow Adrian and I the week after.
So, Roseweed is your first guest. Who are the other guests?
Okay, so on July 16th, we have Jordan Barnett performing. Jordan plays and sings radio hits from the 70s all the way through today, modern music. And after him, on July 22nd, we have John Roth coming to sing popular 60s and 70s songs, sure to get your feet tapping and the crowd dancing along.
Love it.
After John, on August 20th, we have Christian Lombardo, and by happenstance, I was able to see him play live at a restaurant that I was at last month. And Christian Lombardo, he has great energy, and he plays 90s music, current pop, and rock. So he has a wide range of popular songs that kids all the way through adults will know. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who loved it last year. Like, people kept coming in and talking about how much they loved going out with their families and just having, like, the fun night, like, outdoors. So
yes, you can bring a large blanket to sit on, bring some lawn chairs, bring some money for the food trucks, and just be ready to have a good time. And also, Kurt Knight is coming back in September on the 17th. He will be back with his crooners. So we're very excited for him too.
Crooners. I've heard that word before. What does that mean, crooners? Is it like a type of singing?
Crooning is an old style of singing. Most famously, any of the Rat Pack singers were known as crooners.
Okay. Because on the Princess cruise ships, they always have the crooners bar. So I was always curious what that meant.
Style of singing.
Okay. Kind of makes sense because their vibe was always like Great Gatsby style.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, off topic.
No, that's great. Do you want to know what kind of food trucks we're having?
Yes. That's what I care about.
Yes, I know Tara does. Do you?
Go on.
Okay.
That wasn't a yes or a no.
Our first food truck is the Big Jarowski, and he serves up some delicious Polish-style street food, along with some other yummy things. Mac and Loaf's Grill will be out with barbecue. Whiskey Jack's is coming out with barbecue. I told you about Shake It Up Lemonade. Yeah. And then I'm very excited for Jaconi. Jaconi is a Swahili-style food truck.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, so Tom, he cooks up East African cuisine. So really looking forward to trying that.
That's awesome. I didn't know we had a food truck like that in our area.
Yeah.
See, this is the part I like. I want to go for all the food.
Yeah, I believe he's based out of Toledo.
Cool. That's awesome.
He also offers cooking classes.
Oh. Does he have an actual like physical location that he also works from?
That is a very good question. I know he goes on site. Like he'll go to your house if you're having a party or something like that to do a cooking class. He does programs.
That's cool. We should have a class here at the library.
He's actually offering an herbs and spices class that I'm interested in potentially finding more out about. Yeah.
I wish I could cook.
Yeah.
I got the basics.
That's all you need. You just get a measure with your heart. That's all.
No, that's what I hate. So all I wanted for my birthday a couple years ago is I told my mom, I was like, I'd really love it if you wrote down the family recipes so that I have a book, a container. I just want them written down. And there were so many that didn't have measurements, or there were multiple recipes that were different. And she always was just like, just measure like with your heart. I'm like,
yeah.
That is not the type of cook I am. I can cook really well if you tell me exactly what to do. When we start measuring with our heart, bad things happen. My heart likes a lot of salt, guys.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
I will say, one time, my sister confused teaspoons and tablespoons while baking.
With what ingredient?
That would be baking soda.
Oh.
And that one should not be measured with your heart.
That sounds like a science experiment.
What happened?
They were god-awful, is what happened.
Did they look weird?
No, they came out looking perfectly fine.
Okay.
Until you bit into it and realized that it tasted like somebody's high school science experiment.
That'd be like the ultimate prank, though.
Yeah. Kind of like those cakes. They look like something, like a guitar. You think it's a real guitar. But then you cut into it.
Is it cake? Yes.
But you can't tell.
I don't know what show it is, but this clip pops up on my Facebook and it like, makes me laugh every time. This girl like sits, like she's doing a talk show, and she sits down and she looks at the seat and she's like, is this cake? And she was sitting on a giant chair-shaped cake.
That sounds
It was
like
amazing.
the best sort of chair to sit in.
So, turning our subject from this summer's music festival, what is it we're here to discuss today?
Well, we were supposed to be here to talk about books turned into TV shows, but Adrian wasn't paying attention to what I wrote, so
I'm perfectly fine. I have already pivoted and adapted.
last minute. Jess is also talking about books that turn into movies, but in her defense, she just joined the podcast like 10 minutes ago.
That's true. That is true.
She has a full valid excuse. I appreciate that you're ready. Adrian.
I have one of each.
Oh.
Well, which ones do you have ready?
Okay, so for my book turned into a TV series, are either of you familiar with The Witcher?
Yes, but I haven't watched and or read it.
So
There's no Henry Cavill was the dude and he got replaced.
That is true. In this instance, I am talking about the 1993 Last Wish, written by, I'm going to way mispronounce this, Andrew, it's spelled Andrzej, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Andrew Sapkowski.
That book is as old as I am.
It features 7 short stories that regale you with the adventures of the Witcher, the Gerald of Geralt of Rivia. I had to make sure I pronounced that correctly because
Gerald or Gerald?
Geralt.
Or Geraldo.
Oh.
No, Geralt.
Turning the tables on you.
Yes. It is Geralt, but he is a witcher, and he basically travels through a series of folklore stories. For example, he visits a version of Beauty and the Beast. He meets a genie. In each short story, he tackles the issue, vampire, the beast in the castle, on behalf of paying clients, because as a witcher, he will kill it or move it on.
What does he kill?
Mythical beasts.
Oh.
Like the beast from Beauty and the Beast? Because that was a prince.
Well,
Yeah.
you'd have to read it to find out what happens.
And
in
a
that
lot
short
of the
story.
monsters in real life look like ordinary people.
That's true.
So I don't trust him.
But it did get adapted into a
Agreed.
Netflix series, as you're aware. The Netflix
I
series.
know nothing about it. I just know he has like long white hair and he's really cute. And he got replaced by Liam Hemsworth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did, in fact.
That's all I know.
Don't know
The
anything.
first
The
season.
cute boys.
The first season premiered in December of 2019, and it followed the first book fairly closely, Last Wish. They completely went off the rails for seasons 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, sounds about
So
right.
if you're interested in fantasy books turned into TV shows, definitely check out The Witcher and the first season of the Netflix show,
Okay.
and then pretend the rest of it doesn't exist.
So you have watched all of it and you
Yes.
read the books. So which do you prefer storyline?
I will say that the book is. I really appreciate Henry Cavill's acting.
Mhm.
I think he did a fantastic job trying to encapsulate the character of Geralt. I think the book had more layers and depth than the Netflix show.
Okay.
And I think that really shows when you get into the later seasons of the show that they really weren't going for any sort of deep depth beyond here's handsome man killing monsters.
Sometimes that's all you need.
That's-
I don't think you were the target audience for that one.
So what did you bring?
So I read a couple books. And I'm not gonna lie, actually, these are not books that I read specifically for this. Apparently I've read a lot of books that have been turned into TV shows. So I love the Bridgerton series.
Yes, you do.
I have read the entire thing, including all the extras. I've actually read most of what Julia Quinn has written, and like I have like a check sheet because I'm trying to get through all of her books. So if you are a fan of the TV show, I highly recommend the books. I will say for the most part, they are really good at following the books. They do change little stuff here and there, which they have to. And it's fun reading the books and like seeing the TV show because you see all the little characters or hidden stuff in the back and you're like, oh, that's going to come up later. Some of the books in the series are definitely better than others, especially if you're a strong feminist like I am. But they're very well written and they're a really easy read. Like at least for me, I started reading it and I got through it real fast.
So it's a page turner.
It is a page turner. If you like historical romance.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that the casting for the actors
Perfect.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So obviously, I love that they're trying to make this so inclusive, and they're really changing like that type of history, because some of the characters are based off historical people, and I love the way that they change that and make it relevant. That part is not in the books.
Okay.
But it absolutely does not take away from it. Like, it doesn't change anything about the story.
No.
So I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Bridgerton series, Jess?
I'm familiar with it, yes, but I'm definitely not as big a fan as Tara.
And,
Have you read or watched it?
I've watched a little bit. That's about as far as
you know,
I've gone.
it's not for everybody. That's why I love all the different TV shows, movies, books we have. Like, there's a million options, but there's something for everyone.
Yes, yeah. I would like to. I just don't watch a ton of TV right now.
I was going to say, I feel like you would like it.
Yes, I definitely would. I liked what I've watched so far.
Yeah.
I will say, I liked the first season of the show. The later seasons I could have skipped.
The first was the best.
The first was the best. I do take some issue, and I know that it's because it was for a TV, for ticking the Netflix TV boxes, but in the book, Lady Whistledown's writing is not as scandalous and inflammatory as it is in the show, and I think they upped that drama factor because they're like, there's not enough tension, there's not enough drama.
It's Shonda Rhimes. It has to get dramatic as heck.
Right. I just, like, when in the books, when she's revealed, it's like, oh, yeah, well, okay. But it's a huge scandal in the show. And it's
in the show, it's Julie Andrews, and there's nothing she does wrong. So I'm going to leave it at that.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But like I said, it's Shondaland, and people love a good soap opera. They're going to... That's actually kind of why I actually kind of like Bridgerton still. Like, it definitely is drama-filled, but at least so far they haven't gone over the deep end like they eventually did with, like, Grey's Anatomy. And...
Right. Ooh, I might have to get back to watching it.
It's good.
Yes.
So what did you prepare for us today, Jessica?
I read Holes, a young adult book by Louis Sacker, and watched the movie. It's not a TV series. It is a movie. Tara said I could do a movie.
It's such a good movie, too.
It is a great movie. I often don't like the movies as well as the books, but I feel like this one was really well done. So have either of you, I know you have, Tara, you've read Holes. Have you, Adrian?
While I'm familiar with the story, I have not read nor watched it.
Okay.
I've only watched it. I haven't read it. I want to read it.
Okay. Well, Stanley Yelnats, he's the main character. He's a kid, and he's cursed. His whole family is cursed. For many generations, it all started with his great-great-grandfather. And so because of this curse, he is unfairly sent to a boys' detention center where they are forced to work by digging holes all day in the blazing heat as a punishment and to quote-unquote build character. And so as the story goes on, the boys start to realize that they're not just digging to build character, that they're actually supposed to be uncovering something. There's a little mystery there. And so they try to figure out, what are we actually looking for and why? So there's crime, there's punishment, there's redemption, there is friendship sprinkled throughout. There are lessons of perseverance. And humor.
I just have the granddaughter. I'm tired of digging Grandpa.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, keep going.
Yes. So I would highly recommend either the book or the movie. Certainly both, but you could pick one or the other, and I feel like the experience will be pretty similar.
Which, if you had to choose one over the other, from what I've heard, the movie follows the book really similarly.
Very closely.
Yeah, everything except for Stanley's weight loss, because they didn't want to do that to a teen, which I fully respect.
Right.
But do you feel like one's better than the other, or do you think they're pretty evenly matched?
I'm going to go with an even match here.
Okay.
Yes.
Doesn't happen very often.
No, it really truly does not. The only other even match I can think of would be The Notebook.
Love The Notebook. You gotta read the sequel, The Wedding.
I know. And you know what? Maybe I have to take that back because I actually think that the movie The Notebook, I may have slightly preferred the movie to the book.
I do too because of the ending.
Yes, because of the
It's
ending.
the ending.
You say it's the ending, but it's also Ryan Gosling.
Oh,
Be honest.
Totally.
I mean,
yes.
For me, it's the ending. He's not an unattractive guy, but not my type.
Oh, but Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling, they really light up the screen.
Oh, yeah. They did a good job.
It's a good duo. Mm-hmm.
And they actually cast him because they didn't think he was like a super attractive guy.
Really, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. But he
wrong.
plays the part of Noah
They've never
so
seen.
well.
They've never seen Drive, so
I haven't either, so I'm not with you on that. What's Drive?
it's a Ryan Gosling movie.
Well, I assumed.
I'm just saying he's a very handsome man in that movie.
Is he always as handsome as he always is?
Yeah, does he have like the hair thing that like falls right here?
Look really cute.
Yeah.
Watch it and find out.
Okay.
That was a good choice, though. Like I like I said, I haven't read the book, but I love that
Thanks.
movie.
Yeah, that's great.
It's my favorite Shia LaBeouf film.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
I
even
believe it's
Steven.
pronounced
Yeah.
LeBeau.
LeBeau. So you said you read multiple things.
I did because I originally thought this was movies, and so I
You're
wanted
wrong.
I wanted to bring up one of my favorites.
I also want to point out we have a spreadsheet that
That's fine.
has it listed.
I know, and I skimmed it and I saw books turned into, and I probably stopped reading right there.
It's fair.
So, are either of you familiar with the flip-floppingly named Edge of Tomorrow?
I have heard of it.
No.
So, Edge of Tomorrow is a 2014 science fiction action film starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt,
Love Emily Blunt.
Okay.
where they are trying to stop an alien invasion. And every time he dies, they get sent back Groundhog style
Oh.
to the same day.
Okay.
See, you lost me there.
And and because it's a war, he dies just all the time.
Oh no.
And so as they go through this war, he's getting better and better and better at fighting because he's able to remember, okay, if I take 2 steps to the left, that guy's going to shoot me dead. If I take 2 steps to the right, like this is going to happen. And so he starts to groundhog his way through this alien invasion to saving the world.
Okay.
Now I say flip-floppingly named because originally it was Edge of Tomorrow, and then they renamed it to Live, Die, Repeat,
Oh.
and then
Which
they
kinda makes more
renamed it
sense.
to Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow.
It's just
No, too
combined
much.
the two.
But it is based on an older book, 2004's All You Need Is Kill by
See, that would make me interested in reading a book.
by Hiroshi Sakurazaka. And I always like to bring this up because 1, I love that movie, and 2, I think the book has a really awesome kind of premise. But
Is it similar to The Promise?
it
of
is
Edge of Tomorrow?
it is very similar. The thing is that the aliens are the ones who reset time.
Oh.
And in the movie, Tom Cruise's originally Emily Blunt's character absorbs it, and then Tom Cruise absorbs it, and then it gets all lost. But in the book, multiple people can have it, which leads to problems where the main character and the female character both have to survive the day because when things happen, they both get sent back, and the ending is much, much darker in the book.
Oh.
But I appreciate both of them for what they bring to the table.
Okay.
And they, frankly, all 4 names are awful.
If you could write the title,
Oh.
It would not
What
be
would
any
you
of
choose?
these, that's for sure.
what would it be?
Why don't we just call it Jim?
Jim?
I think Jim's a good name.
I'm going to say that I think the other title's a little better, but that's
Yeah.
to each their own.
Fair enough. So, we are coming up on that time. Should we turn our topic to what's going on at your local library?
I don't know. You done talking to us? You bored with us? Wow.
The audience can't see it, but I'm crying right now.
He's not.
Yeah, let's go on to library
Uh-oh.
events.
It's happening.
Okay. We're moving on.
Why don't you start us off, Jess?
Well, as mentioned, we have the summer music series starting June 18th at 5:30 at the Bedford Library.
Woohoo! Also coming up at the Bedford Branch Library is the Grand Adventures Book Club. This book club is being run by the amazing Robin, so I highly recommend you come out. There are 3 different days over the summer, June 18th, July 16th, and August 20th at 2 p.m. The nice thing about this book club, not only is it for grandparents and grandchildren to do together, but you also can sign up for the individual dates, so you don't have to be available for all 3. It's for grandparents and kid ages 5 to 10. Please register ahead of time.
The K-Pop Club is pleased to present the Big Summer Bash coming on June 6th,
No, you got K-pop. You got to do this right.
2025 at 5 p.m.
Oh, come on.
That's
you
not
gotta,
the vibe.
Yeah, you've got to bring more energy to that.
Hands it over.
The K-Pop Club. Stop in to meet and spend time with other K-pop fans. This is happening not only here at the Bedford Branch Library, but also at the Petersburg Branch Library.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So half the events are happening at Bedford. And so these ones are happening at
mhm.
Petersburg. Those ones are happening at Bedford.
Okay, it looks like there's only one more meeting left, June 6th, the Big Summer Bash at 5 p.m. here at Bedford.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Coming up at the Bedford Branch Library is Social Security Benefits. This will be on Friday, June 6th at 3 p.m. And it's a presentation for individuals who are approaching retirement age. We are going to have a speaker who is going to come in and chat with you. It's an overview on how Social Security benefits work for you and your spouse, when and how to start receiving Social Security benefits, as well as opportunities to increase your benefits through retirement. There is not a registration for this event, so you can just show on up, but you can find more information on the calendar at your local library website.
And last from me, this one's going out a little ways. We have Save the Date for the Bedford Flower and Garden Club's annual garden tour, coming Saturday, July 12th, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. This will be starting at the Bedford Branch Library located at 8575 Jackman Road in Temperance, Michigan. Plus, food trucks, raffles, vendors, backyard boutique, and a book sale. Tickets are $10 at the door.
Woohoo! Go, team, go!
Was that more of the energy you were looking
That
for?
was a much better energy.
How do you get that bass level to your voice?
Because he's a dude.
It sounded like an amplifier.
It's all about being a man.
I thought you were going to say it's all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that
Wait,
bass.
I know that. That's a song by Lady Gaga, right?
No!
That's Meghan Trainor.
What's a... Wait,
Did you hear she
Is-
was altering the lyrics?
is she
No.
Yeah.
is she related to Megan Thee Stallion?
No, close,
Oh.
but no.
Just because you have the same first name, are you related to every Adrian out there?
Yes.
You
If
are?
you go
Big
back
family.
far enough, yes.
Mm.
Wow.
If you go back far enough.
All right.
We would certainly like to thank you for joining us today. If you are listening on YouTube, we recommend that you hit that like bell. Wait. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the ring bell for notifications. If you're on Spotify, what is it they're supposed to be doing?
Please follow our page and like the individual podcast. It'll help us with the algorithm.
Algorithmic.
Please help other people listen to us. Please tell your friends.
If there's a book that you've seen adapted into a TV show that you would like to talk about, leave a comment down below. If you would like to join us on this podcast, consider leaving a comment down below as well. If you would like to see Jessica come back every week, please let us know down below. And with that, this has been In the Library with
Tara!
I'm still Adrian and our special guest.
Jessica!